Like, there's even a planet way back there that Overlord could have just flown to. Nope. He just got stuck by an invisible barrier. I heard a warp prism. Is he just gonna lift off probes and take him to this third? I hope he doesn't try to ninja an expo. That would be probably the worst decision of his life if he tries to hide an expo. Don't do it, Filvex. Don't do it. Don't try to hide an expo, Filvex. Oh, please don't. Please, please, please. Oh, that is like the worst thing he can do because his army is not mobile. A Protoss army is not mobile enough to try to defend any kind of hidden expo. And the Stalkers are just going to charge headlong into the Hydras, and as you can see, 2 Stalkers did gib there, as Stalkers can't really tank that damage. We do see the Warp Prism has arrived at its destination, but is not doing anything. The food count is the Dubside is in the lead as the 16 roaches all at once. That's ridiculous. The Dubside Zerg player is on 4 bases to the Protoss's one super saturated base. He's floating a lot of money, but alas, it will not do him any good if he does not secure additional income soon, and I mean soon. He will be in a tight spot as Tier 3 units are on the way. He is getting a High Templar Archives and more Zealots, so that might be a short-term solution here to this just huge amount of Roach Hydra. 2-2, 3-3 just now starting for Dubside, so he's keeping up with his upgrades, doing a great job getting to that Hive Tech so he can get that 3-3 attack. And once he hits 3-3 attack, this army is not going to stand much of a chance. It is only 2-0, and that is not good enough sometimes against 3-3. The Raider Spire is on the way, so we will be seeing some Broodlord play, which anytime I see Broodlords, I just GG, man. I cannot deal with Broodlords. Oh, it's so bad. Oh. Oh, man. Broodlords, to me, I gotta think of an analogy of something annoying. Broodlords are like that guy who doesn't know when to go away. Now, bear with me here. I'm gonna try to make this work. I'm thinking of this up on the spot, so give me some credit here. This Warp Prism is gonna do a warp in here. In the meantime, while I tell you why Broodlords are that guy who doesn't know when to go away. Everybody like, there's always that guy. Everybody knows of one guy, that guy, who you're hanging out with your buddies, you're having a good time, and then they walk up, and everyone just kind of exchanges a glance of, oh God, are you kidding me? And then that guy kind of invites himself. This natural is going to be, or expansion is going to be canceled, by the way. He just proceeds to like join the conversation like completely uninvited and whatnot. And here comes the engagement, so I'll tell you the story later. Some decent force fields trying to cut the Zerg army in half as much as possible. A lot of Hydras are not taking part in the fight, which is exactly what the Protoss player wants. Some of the Roaches are in back, so this is probably the best engagement that the Protoss player could have asked for. He is 2-0, however, despite the 2-2 for the Zerg, and I really feel like that's what's doing him in here. The Immortal play is good for Stalkers, but if you're not Stalkers. The Immortal play is good to try to deal with the Roaches, but if you're going to deal with the Hydras, you kind of need to get that Colossus Bay up as soon as possible, because although the Colossus aren't as strong against Roaches, they do totally rip them apart. So Colossus definitely is a very strong composition, or a strong unit to add to his composition, but it looks like nonetheless he will be able to hold, despite my naysaying, as those force fields really did pay off. That extra warp in there at the end did help him out. However, 20 Hydras are about to pop, and we do have 6 Corruptors on the field, and they are, I guarantee you, about to become Broodlords here, as Dubside does in fact have the money and the supply. Actually wondering why they're not warping in at this time. Filvex is kind of realizing the grave situation that he is in, and he's scrambling to try to get this expo down ASAP. All of the Hydras are now marching their way to the middle of the map. But anyway, my analogy before that huge old fight, that in my opinion Filvex just barely held, that guy just kind of walks up, and you're like, oh God, what's gonna happen now? And then he starts talking to you about things that you don't want to talk about. Like, blah, 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 like, it's completely irrelevant to the